Hi everybody, welcome back to the channel, and we are deep into it already with the Jeep Cherokee. So I was going around this thing and started working on some stuff, checking out the brakes and everything to see what we had. And some things are better than I thought, and other things, well, are worse. So I'll show you some of these highlights of things that aren't great. So we knew this was going to be a problem. We got old body work up here. This thing was hit along the side or something early in its life, and whoever put this filler on didn't do prep correctly or something, and it cracked, and then the moisture got behind, and it just got worse. So I'm going to have to deal with this area up here. I'm not going to replace this. I don't think it needs replaced. I think we can just grind this down, treat it, and then just skim coat it again. Hopefully a better job than the last guy did. This down here, which is everything from here down, is behind the bumper extension. This is obviously shot. And they make a patch panel that does cross here. So I ordered 2 of those. And then I'm going to have to do some construction in here to make this inner drop down piece. Additionally, we're going to have to make a patch for in the wheelhouse, but that's pretty easy to do actually once you get this other stuff done. So the worst part's going to be doing the inner drop down. This part here, we're just going to cut all that out. That's the good side, believe it or not. This side is way worse, and it's just gone. And I'll show you what that means here on the inside, where you can see daylight, quite a bit of it. So got a fair amount of work to do there to fix that. Let's see, what else did we do? A couple things I was able to get from the local U-Pull-It, and I got a new handle thing or license light cover for the lift gate. It doesn't quite match, and I don't really care. The original one was just a raw black plastic, and those apparently turned brittle after they've been out in the weather for a while, and it was just falling apart as I was taking it off. So this one's in pretty decent shape, and it's close enough of a color that I'm not going to worry about it. Did check all the lights. The third brake light was out. That was just a bulb, so no big deal there. And let's show you one other thing. So I took the brake drums off. The brakes are actually in very good shape. Wheel cylinders aren't leaking. They're not crusty inside. These shoes look like they're relatively new, so everything there was good, at least on this side. I'll show you the problem on the other side. But the brake drum, good grief. I took this thing off, and look at that. It is literally coming apart. It is so rusty. So definitely going to have to replace that one. The other one's crusty, but it seems like it's in better shape. So I might just cheapskate it and just do one. We'll see how cheap they are. And on the other side, the brake was good except for that cable is snapped. So I got to get one of those. So that is where we are at the back end of this thing at the moment. Currently working at taking the trailer hitch off because I need to, at a minimum, just clean it up and paint it. But there's another reason for that that we'll talk about later. And then we still have to get into the rest of the interior stuff, like the headliner, and take the seats out, and then take the dash out to do those other items, which are on order. So that is where we are as of today. So stay tuned here. We'll be back in a little bit with further updates. One thing we should talk about is buying things from Rock Auto. Always check the closeouts, because I got this catalytic converter, Walker brand, for only 98 bucks. It was the last one. It's in a box that looks like it's been around for 20 years. And it is the exact same part as the one I took off. Now that means this one was probably replaced once, but it is completely identical down to the numbers stamped in the heat shield. I also got a brake drum for the one that I needed. 29 bucks. Last one. Closeout. And this adjustment cable for the brakes. 29 cents in the original blister pack. Always check the closeouts. See what you can score. The only thing I found with the closeouts is you gotta order them all at the same time because they all seem to ship from the same warehouse. I started work on the quarter panel, and it's, fun times, as rust repair always is. This section here is the butcher job body repair that some Neanderthal did previously to this thing. He's very creative at finishing thick Bondo and making it look like it's not there, until of course it cracks. But the body repair was just, it's abysmal. I mean, this was amateur hour, and unfortunately somebody probably paid somebody to do this. You can see here where there's holes drilled for a dent puller, which is like from the 1960s. Nobody uses those anymore. And there's a whole bunch more down in this area here, but I don't care because that's getting all cut out. So I've got the patch panels, and this is how they fit on here. So it covers a lot of the ugly, but it doesn't cover all of the ugly. Now, normally when I would use a patch panel like that, I would only section it in either through here or through this area here, because the bumper cover extension covers all of this. So my body work and welding doesn't have to be, concours quality. Unfortunately, with this being worse up here, I might just put that whole thing in and cut it along here and have to weld it, which isn't great, but I'm going to have to do body work to fix this horrific mess anyway, and so getting it flat is going to be no different if I do it here or here. It's kind of the same thing. So I'd like to get rid of as much of this here as I can. This has all been treated with a rust stabilizer product. Try to get that under control. There's no holes in it yet. I think it's a little thin here maybe, but it seems like it's okay. So that's what we got on this side. I didn't worry about the other side yet because it's going to be much easier to do. I'm only going to have to use a patch, probably cut down in here because it doesn't go up as high. And then I have to put the rivets back in to hold the bracket for the extension. Also, obviously going to have to make a lot of the inner part, which they do not make a patch for as far as I know. So that's going to be home fabbed, and that's not difficult, but it's time consuming. So we'll come back to that after we cut some of that stuff out of there and see what we got on the inside. Well, here's what we wind up with when we cut out all the bad metal. I still have to trim this up here. I'm very conservative with my first cut because I don't want to take off too much, but you'll see how much of that rusty crap we've been able to eradicate. And this was all treated, so that shouldn't hopefully not come back. But I had to cut out some of the drop-down panel, and of course a good chunk of the wheelhouse is missing. So we'll have to make all that with our raw materials, and we'll use some CAD design, cardboard aided design, to make those patch panels and get those welded in. There's an important distinction between a guy who has a welder and a guy who knows how to use one. My welds are not great. I think I had the welder set for a much higher or thicker steel the last time I used it, and I neglected to really work on it, so I blew through here, and yeah, I'm not proud of it. But I'll still show it because it's part of the process, and it's just, how things go. So making this piece here is not fun. Getting this bend right goes many, many times up and down from the upside down bucket. This piece was easy to make, but I'm going to fiberglass over all that on the exterior before I undercoat it. I think that'll be the solution to that problem. Maybe some seam sealer too. This is a factory gap up here in the wheelhouse. It allowed water to get down in here, so it's no wonder this corner rusts out. Factory didn't do a very good job of sealing that. So that's done, and now we got to put on the patch panel, which is the part that really matters and the part I'm certainly not going to do any better on. Stay tuned. My welder's pretty old. I bought this thing for a few $100, probably 20 years ago, so I don't even have instructions with it to understand how to set it up. But after doing some practices and resetting everything, now I've got it pretty good. Pretty happy with how this is coming out at this point. So next is the bodywork phase. One of my least favorite things to do in the world. And lastly, we've got the first coat of fiberglass material on here. This is a short strand fiberglass body filler product. I'm using this as a base to try to fill it in because it is so badly warped and distorted from not just my work, but from the accident that was there before. So we're going to do that first, sand that down, and then I'm going to put some professional grade body filler on top of that and make it smooth. But I wanted to use that to fill, plus fill any of the pinholes that I might have missed there in that seam. So the short strand will give it the strength it needs, that it won't crack. And here's the first coat of the final filler. Probably need another coat yet after we sand it, but we're making progress. This is a rust hole in the right side frame rail, and I'll pull back so you can see where it was located. And I thought this was going to be a simple method of just cutting out the metal and welding the piece in there, but this is extra thick in here, so not quite sure what I'm going to do there. I'm probably going to put two pieces of metal together and then just weld them for double thickness and just cover this. The sides are still perfect. Just had some bubbling and hit it with a hammer and it went through, so we wanted to cut that out. So I got the most of it out of there, I treated it, and now I'll just weld a patch over it. When these get really bad, they make patches that go over and up the side of the rail, probably up about the floor pan, I'm guessing. I haven't had any in my hand to tell you for sure, but they do make them. So if you have one that's really bad, you can probably patch it back together. I'm just going to try to hold this one off until the very last minute for doing that. But the rest of the rail is actually pretty good. There's a bunch of holes drilled in there for the trailer hitch and stuff, but this is the only hole on this side. So on the driver's side, it looks pretty bad from this angle because of the shadows, but it's actually only eaten through like one level of the steel there. The rest of it's really still solid, and I just treated it with a rust killer, but whacked on it with a hammer and didn't go through anywhere. That hole that you see is actually a threaded hole for something. So this side is okay there, but back here where the protector for the fuel hoses is, that caused a problem there, and I got a hole there that I'm going to have to deal with. Unfortunately, this is right where the filler hoses are, and there's no shield for the gas tank there, so I haven't quite decided how I'm going to tackle that, because I really should have the gas tank out. So for now, I just treated it, and I'm going to just hit the pause button on that until I figure out what I want to do with it. Because the gas tank right now is unfortunately at least half a tank full, so I'm not really eager to take it out. But definitely going to have to deal with that, because if that keeps spreading, you're going to get back into where the leaf spring mount is, and we don't want that. So here's that cover for the fuel filler pipes, and you can see we're missing a goodly chunk of it here. Might be able to find one at the junkyard, or I may just cut that off, bend a piece, and just weld it on there. Depends on how ambitious I feel and if I go to the junkyard anytime soon, because I gotta go look for this fender bracket because mine's rotted and they don't make them anymore. No aftermarket company makes them. So I gotta kind of try to find one, I think, because trying to weld that one that I have is probably not gonna work. It's welded, or excuse me, it's all rotted around where the rivets go. But this I could sufficiently fabricate a new flange on that, drill a couple holes and mount it back up. But I could also go to the junkyard and 4 bolts and pull one off if I can find a nice one. We'll see. And again, we're not going for style points, we're going for function. So not the prettiest welds in the world, but there's a good piece of metal in there. And that should return some strength to this frame rail. And then we're gonna just finish it off with a little fiberglass to make it not look so hideous and fill in any of the holes that might be left. Well, for now I treated it and put some paint on it, and we're just going to employ the vice grip garage method of dealing with this for the time being. So one thing I want to mention is that this is it's not a restoration. This is just to give this vehicle some more life while I am hoping to use it for maybe another 10 years. The frame rails where they're rusted aren't really a problem with as bad as it is so far, but obviously it's not structurally brilliant, and if it gets hit, it's going to fail in those areas first. Normally that would be concerning for the longevity of this thing should it get hit. But if this thing gets hit hard enough to do anything to the frame rails, it's going to be scrap anyway. They're just not worth that much, and you can't buy the parts for them anyway. So we're going to do the best patching that we can, but with the understanding that this thing's probably not going to survive till the next 50 years. It's just a vehicle. It's not going to be a restoration. All right, and the last update before we go for this episode is going to be that I've got everything cut out of here that was rotted, and we're getting the patch panel ready to put in. Got that cut to fit. So all we got to do now is make the drop down and the wheelhouse patch. Those you can't buy, of course, and then we'll weld those in and put the final patch panel on, and this one's going to be much easier to finish because it's all going to be below the bumper line. One thing that you want to make sure when you do that is you would think that, oh, I'll just cut it right on the angle. No, I wouldn't do that because that's a lot harder to finish an angle than it is a flat surface. So I went part way through this flat surface area, and it's below, about an inch below the bumper, so we should be able to hide everything behind the bumper cover, and none will be the wiser. So thanks for watching this episode. I'm probably gone a little long on this one, but check back in another week or so, or subscribe and hit the bell thing and you'll know when it drops. But we'll keep hammering away at this thing over the next few evenings and so forth. Until then, as always, thank you for watching and following along. We'll see you real soon.